Well, tonight is gonna be we're gonna be talking about reading and cut and rock, specifically not agates, because we do like to talk about agates a lot, and so we're gonna focus on other materials tonight. I can't see the chat, Jordan.
Everyone's saying hello to each other, and I just waved.
Oh,
I just
oh,
poked through here and I went like that. Because I have oily fingers. I don't want to touch. I don't want to be touching too much.
yeah, Jordan's having fun playing with the saws over there. It is a good time.
I forgot to change into a better shirt, so I'm gonna be doing. Hi, Harper.
But it's one
Zeke
of your
said
favorite
Harper.
colors.
This light blue, yeah, it is. This and pink
I do
That's
love
lately.
that color.
Pepto-Bismol pink. Her two favorite
Yes.
colors are basically a baby shower.
Yep. Cotton candy.
That's so funny. Awesome. Well, you guys ready to get started tonight?
They
I think
are. I think tonight's gonna be a good night for you guys.
I know. I think we'll do a good bit of cutting tonight too. Because, of course, if we're going to talk about it, we got to look at some of this stuff. One of the first things I want to talk about is patina. I got a lot of good rocks here and I see this all the time, especially on the live events, is we look at rock and I'll be like, that's a really great piece. But if you're not familiar, you might be looking at it going, I don't get why Zeke's so excited about that. And so I wanted to first start talking about like patina. What's the rock going to do versus the outside? Like this rock right here, that is something that most people would happily hike over, um, if they didn't know what it was going to look like, because it's just kind of a brownish brick color rock almost. But when you look at the where it's got a fresh face on there, you can see that it is a piece of unakite, and you got the pink and the green and the quartz mixed in there, a little bit of black, and it's gonna have a nice fun mat. Oh, Ed, I like unakite, but you can see it's gonna be wildly different than if you're just looking at that face. So that's one of the first things to recognize about material, and everything that we're gonna cover tonight is you'll learn with time, is not something that you're gonna master right away. Because John and I will still look at material and be like, I don't know, it kind of looks cruddy, and then we'll cut a piece and go, oh no, we actually do really like that. So I mean, this is a good example of now if you know what you're looking at, you can see little bits of the green and pink and quartz in there. So as you get familiar with rock, you'll look at a piece like this and go, oh, I know what that's going to look like when it's cut, without cutting it, but that's something that really comes with practice. And I highly suggest if you're going to look at a piece of rough like this, give it a good scrubbing before you judge it. Um, because this also got a lot of mud on it. So let's actually, and well, the other thing I was going to say, the other thing would be to have good light. I've been in people's garages where you can't tell what anything is because the light is so bad. And you're like, I don't know if that's going to be good or not. So check it in good light. Sunlight, of course, is always the best. But we'll scrub this one down just so you guys can see the change from washing it. Let's see. Ooh, I hope that's a waterproof light. Our light is freshly cleaned too.
What?
Nothing, Tay.
Nothing. Hi,
Haha.
everyone. Hi, Mark. Hi, Jeffrey. So, how is everybody's Thursday? I'm intrigued to know. It's about to get a whole lot better.
Well, I spent my majority with you.
So that means it was a 10 out of 10 day for Tay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. Well, you guys can see with just a light scrubbing with just some water, you can already see a lot more of what this piece is going to look like. So
Oh, getting tattoos.
as you look at it, you can envision the green, the pink, the mix in here more and more. And you look at this window right here where it's got this fresh, clean break on it, and those are the colors you're gonna see.
I think you need to first give a background, Zeke, because you're throwing around some terms that some people not may not be familiar with. When you say
Oh,
patina, what is
we're
it and how
we're
does it start?
we're getting there. That's the next segment. We're getting to
Oh,
the ooh ah moment. We're building Tay, That's the next phase. Because I want people to like see, I want them to envision and think about it and look at this rock. And then we're gonna go throw it in the saw after everybody's got a good look. So they can kind of visualize, if their idea of cutting is correct or not. And this is a pretty easy one to start with, especially because a lot of people are familiar with this material. But you saw it dirty, then you saw it wet, now you've seen it scrubbed. Now we're gonna go throw it in the saw and take a cut off, and then we can dive into that next part, Tay.
uh-huh.
It's like a good story, you gotta build.
Oh, go
I'm
boys,
listening.
filling the totes up.
I know, they're doing an awesome job.
I was like, the other day, I was like, oh, gonna start filling that tote up soon. And I just looked at it now. And I was like, oh, good job.
I know they've been doing a lot of rock.
I'm gonna
I love it.
clean out these. I'm gonna be cleaning out these Everclean cans so we can get some new ones in.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
And then I figured Tay and I were talking, like we were saying before the show, Zeke, sharpening the blades too to show people. Someone had a question about that the other night.
No, that's a good idea, yeah, because I think all these blades need it. All right, so there's the piece. We'll throw this one in the saw, take a cut off, and then we'll go. Ooh, that is vice is not locked. Then we'll go look at the next batch of material. Because I think a lot of people, especially as you're newer, you look at material and you really don't understand what it's going to look like until you cut a piece. And that's why I was saying, like, experience is, I mean, everybody will learn with experience. As you cut material, you'll recognize more and more things, being like, oh, like at this point, I'm very rarely shocked what something is going to look like cut. Unless, of course, it's something like an agate where you have, no windows. But material like this, you'll cut enough material that you'll get to the point where you're like, oh, I have a good idea what that's going to look like. And so that's one thing that John was talking to us about really covering.
Um, team, can you mark that down for Neil and send that over,
All right.
please? Thank you. Neil, they're gonna look into that for you. So what are you clamping in the saw right now, Zeke? Are you sorry, Unikite?
Yeah, this is a piece of Unikite.
Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty. You miss our weather here, Cody?
Too hot there already.
I
All
am.
right.
I had a hankering for that the other day, Jeffrey, believe it or not.
Let me
What
wash
you
my
have a
hands.
hankering for?
Chocolate pudding.
Pudding.
Oh, I've been eating a chocolate pie all day.
Oh, yum.
I wormed my way into a hand-cooked one, a full one from AJ.
So there's chocolate pie, is what you're saying?
I will cut your fingers off if you try to get my pie.
You're what now?
You're gonna be missing some knuckles.
Uh-oh.
Ah. That was so funny. Tay does really like her chocolate pie.
The only pie I eat,
Same.
besides my mom's blueberry, because I can't say no to my mom.
Oh, I love blueberry and pecan pie.
I'm blaming Jeffrey for the food talk already. He started it.
I know, I'm so hungry right now. Ooh, rhubarb is good too. I love pie. All right. So patina can be a couple different things. It can be a staining from dirt. You know, if you have something like iron-rich soil, can often make the rock reddish on the outside. It can be what they call desert varnish, where it's been baking out in the sun. Sometimes it can just be another mineral, like this calcite layer on the lapis here.
Can you roll up this sleeve, please?
Yes.
Scalpel.
Go on.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was helping Jordan. It can be things like bucket funk. It can also be where you get layer where the minerals grow and you get these separation lines. So like this right here is just a separation line on this Cherry Creek. If you look in the material, you can see it's got the little lines running through it. This is just one of those lines, but where it's separated. So you're not seeing the true color of this piece. You're just seeing one of those separation lines on there. So like you look at this piece and you're like, again, that's kind of a dull, ugly rock until you look at the window and you're like, oh, you're gonna get greens, possibly a little reddish pink in there, and you're gonna get all these lines running through your stone. This is another piece that we're gonna cut tonight. Um, but I grabbed some good examples of things that I'm like, this is another one where probably this is a very iron-rich soil, and it just creates this dense, thick layer of skin on the stone that you're not really seeing what the material's doing. But this one we can get excited about because we can see the pattern inside the stone. And on a jasper like this, it's very likely that that pattern's going to run all the way through. You guys recognize this piece? That face should be a little bit more telling. But this is another one that I guarantee there's a lot of people that if they're not familiar with this, they would look at this rock and they'd walk right past it because it's like, it's not really that interesting. Especially when you see something like this face where it's clearly been sitting in the dirt more. And then, of course, you get bucket funk, what we call it, where maybe you got a barrel, a steel barrel, and it gets water in there, and the rock gets a rust coating on it, and you can't see the rock at all. This is actually one that I set aside for us to drill. Maybe we'll make a little sphere preform tonight at that one. One of the reasons that we wanted to do this night is this is actually a bin of green tree, or I'm not sorry, not green tree, green moss that was returned. And my suspicion, looking at the bag of it, is you look at this bin as a very unimpressive bin, just looking at it the way it is, because it's so dirty that my suspicion is somebody would open this box and look at it and goes, well, that's just kind of dirty rock. And you really can't see anything exciting about that, which is why we started off with scrubbing it. Let's see. You can see a little bit of green tree pattern sticking out right there. And you can see that it's going to have green moss in it if you're familiar with the material. But this is definitely one where if you're not familiar with this material, you would look at that white patina there and the dirt on the face and go, oh, that's not that exciting, especially if you're looking at it without good light. So let's take this bin over and wash it, and then we'll throw a couple of these in the saw too. Is this helpful for you guys? I don't need the spray bottle. I don't know why we're grabbing that.
Very good.
Oh, awesome.
How many of you guys are taking notes right now? I know Ed is. Awesome.
All right, back to the sink.
Oh yeah. I think this one should be definitely. And then Zeke and I were talking about doing an actual video on it too.
On what?
Doing this stuff. I did, Gary. Thank you so much.
Oh, this is gonna be a really good one. See, if you look at this one right here, this is a calcite layer. That is not going to be inside the stone. That is just on the outside. And you can actually see, if you look at the edge right there where it's chipped, it's just a crust on the outside. Especially when we get to that face right there, that's going to be a really good piece. Has really good separation in there. And you got nice clarity around your green. Now, when John says study your piece, like you'll hear John say that all the time, study your piece, study your piece. This is exactly what he's talking about. Coming over to the sink, scrubbing it down, getting out a good light, and really looking at the material.
That's true. How many of you have a light, like just a handheld light to look at your pieces?
You could clean this off with muriatic acid. I would not. That's kind of just a waste unless you're going to leave this natural. Because even if you were going to polish this face, you would just grind that off really quickly. So I would, unless you're going to leave it natural, I wouldn't clean this with muriatic acid. I'd just go throw it in the saw. But that's a really good piece right there.
That's awesome.
And when you're looking at material like this, that's what, where the reason why we show the chipped little windows on the live event so much is because that's what we're looking at when we cut the rough. Like if I look at that piece, right, that face right there, that's really kind of an ugly face. But the first thing I notice about it is this little area where you're starting to see some translucent agate, and this area where you're starting to see some translucent agate. So that was like, okay, that has really good potential. You got a really just plain green face here, which doesn't show you anything. This is a natural part of the skin on the rock, but that's not going to go into it. You got more calcite here, more of the skin. But then you come down here and you're like, oh, that little window, that tells me that this is a screaming good piece. One of the other things I like is if you look, this is the face that we started with right there. And this is where I'm showing you guys. So that means that we got good pattern going all the way through the rock. As you can see, it really good pattern there. And really good pattern in a couple little windows there. So I'm like, this is one I'm like, oh, that's killer. We got to cut that.
The green moss is some of my favorite material. The green moss and the green tree. I like both of them a lot. Stuart's asking how much for this returned bin.
Well, we're gonna cut a couple of these pieces, but we could sell them later, or we could do tote out of the green moss. This one you can see is going to be a little bit denser pattern of moss. This is going to be more translucent when you cut it. So one of the things the first thing I think when I look at this face is it's very dark green. So my immediate thought is I'm going to cut this a little bit thinner so that I get more light coming through the piece. And then you can see
Hey,
it actually
Allison.
transitions into the green tree pattern right there. So that's where it's more opaque. It's not going to matter on the thickness you cut. But this is actually a really good example. Look at that white layer on the top there. If you imagine that we don't have this broken face here and we're just looking at that, you really have no idea what that's going to look like on the inside. Because this does not correlate to what's in the face there. Oh, I like that little chip right there where you're starting to get those eyes coming through. This one's interesting where it's got this bubbly skin. You don't really see that in the green moss. I don't want to be tempted to cut the skin off there and try to do something with the skin. All
Zekery,
right,
water and oil from wet rock over time, is it a problem?
what do you mean?
So say you go from like washing, I think Mark's saying like if you go from washing your piece and it's still a little wet, if you go and clamp it in the saw after, like if you're doing that over time, is that going to become a problem?
Yeah, you'll get
Like,
water in your saw and your bearings will start to rust. So if you get a little water in there, it's good to occasionally leave the hood open so it can vent a little bit, especially on a nice hot day. But I also would just pat down the rocks before I put them in, like a rag or paper towel. This is another one where it's got a lot of thick skin that you really can't see through there, a lot of little patina. But if you look at it, you can see these little windows of translucent agate poking out with all those little dots in them. So I look at that and I'm like, that's gonna be a nice one. You're gonna get good translucency and it's gonna get some of the green tree pattern. Now it's a good distinction here to look at like this right here where it's just on the surface and you can see it's thin versus looking in some of these other areas where I look at two different faces and you can see some of that white is gonna go down into the piece. But you can see it transitions back to the translucent area. So that's something to pay attention to when you're buying a piece of rock. Because if you're like, man, I really want the translucent pattern, you're not going to enjoy a lot of this area up here. If you like the transition, which I really do, this is going to be a great piece because you're going to get a little bit of everything in your stone. So something to pay attention to where you can see, up on the face there and then down in the piece. And then you can see it kind of gets lighter as it goes down and through the piece. And if I look at the side here, I can see the same thing where it's darker and going into lighter. That tells me that this piece is going to be very consistent with what you're seeing on that face, where dark to light. We'll cut this one like through here so you can see the full range of pattern.
I gave that one to one of the twin girls, Mark. She got super excited. She was like, I can put this in my fairy garden.
Oh,
I
that's
was like,
cute.
yes. I was like, yes, you can. So that was her favorite one.
All right, here's another one where you can see it's calcite on the skin there, and it's just going to be white. But if we turn it, you can see the pattern is going to be this nice kind of bluish white agate with the green running through it. And as I roll it around, you can see it's consistently a layer up here of the white, and then the material stays the same all the way through the middle. So to me, I look at that one, I'm like, this is going to be a very consistent piece as you cut it. You can see on every face, you got this nice kind of bluish white agate with the green running through it. And it almost looks like a seam where you got the calcite on the top and the bottom. So I would slice this one up this way, and this one's going to be very consistently this pattern all the way through. If I'm just looking at this face, I'm like, that's kind of hard to tell. You can start to see it a little bit right there. Um, but it really opens up as you get into the piece more and more in the middle. Same with this face. If that was the only thing you could see, you'd be very shocked to get that pattern. So it's why we're always rolling it around and looking for little windows. When you look for a window, what you want to look for is a fresh chip. Usually it's going to be brighter than the rest of the stone and just look cleaner. And that's going to give you an indication of what the stone's going to do on the inside. Like this is starting to patina a little bit. It's been sitting in dirt, and so it's got a little bit of dirt still embedded in the skin. There's no really fresh windows on this piece. But if we cut it, it's going to be very consistent with this face. Should we go throw these pieces of green moss in the saw and then go back to the table?
I mean, I think so.
All right.
Ed says sure. It kind of means you have to, right?
That's right. Thank you, Ed. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Ed.
Oh, do you know where my chair is, Jordan?
It is across the room by the TV, Zeke, right?
Ooh, kicking the camera. Tay, do you still have your headset on?
Why? Why?
I was gonna tell you we call that pulling a Tay now.
What?
After that one night you kicked the camera every time you turned.
Oh, that
Be
tray?
thankful I was kicking the camera.
Well, I
Hold
meant
that.
the other one, but I'll use this one because it's closer.
They're the same distance, but okay.
They're not. I calculated.
Okay.
There was math involved.
Okay. Hi, Brad.
All right, I think we're gonna start with this one because I think this is gonna be my favorite piece in here. All right, so when we cut this one, it's gonna be very translucent with mostly lighter green tendrils running through the agate, and they're gonna have a nice separation on there. So you'll have to take a good mental image of that face right there.
Yes, Jason. We'll see you in a bit, Mark. This Everclean can is pretty.
Is there a new one, or just because you cleaned it so well?
The colors.
Oh, the mud.
Yes, sorry.
I was just gonna let her have it.
Well, you know,
I wasn't
Jordan
gonna
does like
question.
clean things, you know.
Yeah, I was just
Well,
gonna let it ride.
that is true. The tour the other day that I did, they were like, "Oh my goodness, that Everclean is so good. Like we hate cleaning our saws." And I was like, "Well, I love it." And they're like, There's something wrong with you then." I was like, "Yes."
All right, here's the next one. This one's gonna be very clear with light green tendrils running through it and little white agate fortifications, kind of like a quartzy little agate fortification scattered throughout the stone with possibly spots of darker green.
For the petrified wood competition, can we submit a photo with a grouping of tumbles as one piece?
Yes. Yeah, I think like a nice little bowl with a batch of tumbled stones or laid out on a nice background would be great for the competition for tumbled stones.
Giving them a winning formula, aren't we, Zeke?
One of the competitions, I did a whole cut and chat on things to do to improve the photos.
Are you counting Gary Green or no?
I still have to talk to John, but I think the general consensus is that that's not considered wood. Um, so I don't think so, but I will discuss it with John. It is very debated whether it's wood or not. All right, this one's gonna be a darker green with a little bit more density in it, but still some clear and some white spots running through the stone.
Will Blue Forest Limcast or Montana Limcast count, Zachary?
Yep.
Yes.
I think a good amount of entries are going to be that Blue Forest, actually. That and the Arizona wood.
I know the two pieces out of my collection, three pieces out of my collection that I would submit. I was just thinking about this while we're talking about wood. Is I have a piece of the cola wood where it's petrified wood with chrysocolla and azurite and malachite veining through it. One of my favorites. One of the other one I would submit is that Torito wood sphere. That is my favorite petrified wood sphere that I've cut.
Yeah, that's an awesome one.
Um, the other, well, actually, I have two more. No, just one more. No, two more. Um, the other one would be a piece of wood I found in Utah that has native silver veins running through it. It's just tan wood with silver veins running through the piece.
Oh, that's cool.
And then the fourth one would be a piece of the chrome wood from Arizona that I polished the end of. Oh, there we go. A piece of the yellow cat wood for the fifth. Thank you, Terry. Finishing off my list. All right, this piece is going to be a little bit more blue-white agate with a darker green tendrils lightly running through the piece.
What would be the go-to for the final polish on Hyperstein Zekery?
I've always used leather and cerium, but I bet milk and diamond would also do a phenomenal job. Definitely, I wouldn't use Zam on that one.
Why would you not use Sam? Out of curiosity.
It's a harder material, so Zam's not going to do much to it. Mostly just put
Okay.
a wax coating that you'll wipe off. But also you get little pockets and spots in the Hyperstein where the Zam would likely build up in and be hard to clean out of.
Gotcha. Okay.
Maybe that's what we should do for a cut and chat. People are always asking what material. We keep saying we're gonna make a list. Maybe we should just do that as one of the cut and chats. Just go down the list and talk about polishing each piece or each material.
We should, and then I'll make a list as we go. Kill two birds, one stone. You guys like that idea? Slabs, Jason.
All right. This one's going to be a
All
very
that stuff.
dense on this section right here is going to be very dense dark green with little clear spots in it, and then this section right here um is going to be mostly white with the green running through it. It definitely will not fit in to cut this one lengthwise. So we're gonna we got a little bit of white back here, so we'll cut this end off. See, maybe we'll get a little bit of both pattern in there. And then we'll see how good my analysis of each piece was. Do you guys like the predictions before they're cut?
Yes. Survey says.
Survey says. Oh, Tay, can we set up our own gambling system?
I think you know
No.
Tay's answer to that.
Aw.
Why'd you ask?
Stuart, was it Stuart? Somebody just had a really good idea. That we do betting on what the rock's gonna look like. Maybe we can make a couple predictions, and then people can bet on it and gamble that way, and then we can just do live cutting. I feel like there's got to be a way to set that up. I see enough gambling
Well,
apps.
listen.
Well, you'd also need to
Listen.
set up like
Did you know every single state has a different law when it comes to giveaways, gambling, lotteries? So if you want to dig into Massachusetts legislature about gambling and giveaways, feel free. I'm not against the idea.
reach out to your local state representative, Zeke.
All right, we'll get on the gambling rules and regulations.
Massachusetts is
actually-
quite strict.
That actually would be really fun. I guarantee they're not more strict than Utah on this subject.
I don't know.
Don't we have a casino here?
Isn't like 1 in 4 houses in Utah come back positive for meth?
Something crazy like that.
Yeah, it was like a wild statistic.
But there's no gambling.
I like it, Neil.
Is gambling with your health not a gamble?
Well, that's why you do the tests. All right. Just taking a layer off and then I'm coming back over to the camera. You know, John chuckles every time I say that now after we had that conversation. Or when he says it, he'll
What?
chuckle a little bit. It
About
drives
what?
Jordan crazy because,
Makes me
if
nuts.
you hear John all the time say, I'm gonna go take a layer off, right?
Yeah.
I started saying it and Jordan's like, oh my Lanza. Because I'll be like, all right, go take a layer off.
And then we'll go to the next toe. Let me take a layer off and we'll wrap up. Like, ugh. It just sounds like you have a lot of dead skin.
A layer of
You
mud.
tell that to John.
Can I have that back?
Yes, I was borrowing it. Thank you.
I went to reach for it, you were like, snatch.
I know.
Hey, Zeke, come here.
No, coming. Hold, please. We're going to talk about Bottroidal versus Flatline. Wow. That's nice.
You see the vision?
Hi, everyone.
Yes. Even having fun. Oh my goodness. I love that slab.
Well, there's like 3 more.
Oh,
I feel
know.
no guilt.
I had so much
You
fun
sold my
cutting that
favorite
stuff up.
slabbing rock.
I didn't say anything about you cutting it. I just said I love it.
A couple of you guys have changed your backgrounds. I like it.
All right. So this is going to apply to any botroidal material or any seam, really. Well, first I'll show you guys this face right here. You can see that this is where it's like had a layer of malachite grow around the face there. So this is where it separated and grew over the banding. So you're not actually seeing any of the banding in this piece, but you can see where there's a fresher break. You're going to get bands running all the way through this material. But if you notice on this piece, they're almost perfectly flat or very low bumps. This is not going to be a good piece to cut for eye pattern because what creates the eye is as you have a bump over there, cutting through the bump, you get rings. And so if there's no real bump, if you cut this, you'd have to do a really high dome cab. Actually, let's do that. Let's cut both these pieces of malachite and I will show you guys how to get the pattern in both of these. So this one, you would have to cut a higher dome to get the eyes in this piece. It's not going to be like a botroidal piece like this, where you can see it's going to have lots of eyes in there. So this one, if you cut it, you'll see those eyes immediately because it's already so bumped. You know, bubbly, wavy piece. Nope, this malachite's plenty stable. So like this one, you'll see the eyes immediately. This one, you'll have to put a high dome on it to be able to see the eye pattern in there. And that applies to any seam material where you get wave or flat banding. This same principle will apply of if you see a piece like this, where it's bubbly, you're going to get more pronounced eyes. If you see a flat banded piece like this, you're going to get more you're going to get this flat pattern in it, and you got to dome it higher to get those eyes in there. But you could still get eyes out of this piece right here. We're going to cut both these pieces, and I'm going to show you guys how to get the eye pattern, because doesn't everybody love getting the eye pattern in the malachite? Like, is that not just the coolest? All right, let's go throw these in the saws, and I'll show you guys how to get that eye pattern. Because a lot of people would look at that flat malachite and go, well, I really want an eye piece. And they wouldn't know how to cut it to get that. Doing lapidary, you definitely will learn to think more three-dimensionally. The more and more cutting you do, because you'll think about a piece and how to get different patterns and designs and go, well, if I want this, I got to cut it this way. Oh, that's a great Sumatra agate. Gosh dang, that's beautiful. You can get there, Kyle. In fact, we can even help you with it. All right, so this piece right here, we got pretty flat bands. We're gonna cut right through this direction. So I'm gonna put it in the saw like this and let the blade pass through it this way. And when I first cut this, you guys are gonna be wildly unimpressed. And the further and further we get into the process, the more and more impressed you'll be. This first cut is gonna be pretty bland because we're cutting through a pretty solid layer. All right. I'm gonna take a thin cut because I want those bright to dark bands right there. All right. Let me straighten our gripper here. We were playing with it. You guys were on a little bit ago with us. You remember I turned it so we could adjust the angle. So I'm gonna turn it back so it's sitting straight. Or at least as close as I can get at eyeballing it. All right. And then this one, we're gonna cut through all these bubbles. So I'll clamp it like this and we'll cut the bubbles. This one will be more impressive right off the bat. But it's good to understand this because then as you guys get different pieces of rock, you'll know how to cut it right to get the best or most desired pattern.
I think the best way to say that is not most desired pattern, but the pattern you desire most. Everyone's different, Zeke.
I think we said the same thing in just different words.
Nuh-uh.
I mean, the most desired pattern would be the pattern that you desire most.
Well, that's not true. It depends on what you're cutting for, right?
Well,
Because I could
if it's
like a
your,
specific kind of pattern, but if I'm cutting for someone else and they desire a different one,
we said the same thing. We're
nuh-uh,
splitting hairs now.
nuh-uh.
That's funny, Terry.
The ultimate tool.
Jason brings up a really good point.
What?
Which
My
is,
man, what if you're bald? You can't split hairs.
yeah, Zeke.
And I know that's the tone you meant it in, Jason. I know it. And that was my entrance. I love it. You're getting a cookie.
I want a cookie.
Well, that's too bad. You don't get one.
Aw.
I
Why
would
don't I
say
get
I
a
want
cookie?
one, but I have pie.
Hey, I'll go for pie. That sounds good too.
Get away.
Tay has pie.
You know what Tay always says to me when I say I have a piece or I have something? we have something.
No. Zeke will refer to events and be like, "Hey, we need to get this done," and I have to be like, "Who's we?"
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about I'll be like, Zeke, do we have a piece of dinosaur bone to make a hex cab out of? I'll be like, oh, I got one upstairs. And Tay will go, we have one upstairs.
Oh,
What
yes,
is it?
Brandon, find them for me too. I went through my stash already.
Rules for me, but not for thee. I mean, rules for thee, but not for me. I said that backwards.
What material are you cutting right now?
We got the green moss in the saw, and we got 2 pieces of malachite. And I'm gonna check to see if that green moss is done. If it's not done, we'll go back to the table. Otherwise, we'll look at that green moss.
That's exciting.
See, that one's almost done. That one's almost done. Almost done. That one's done.
Hey, Jordan,
And this
can you
one's
step
about to be
like
done.
3 feet in either direction? Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, and the Unikite.
Oh, which saw did we put that in? Was that the 18?
I don't know. Probably one that's running.
Oh, yeah, I did forget about the Unikite. Okay, we'll look at the Unikite. Duh.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Hey, Zeke, can you
to-
make a note to replace the felt on this CB6?
Yes. Hey,
I
Jordan.
got it. I got it. Notice how I said I got it before
Zeke.
Zeke was like, "Hey, Jordan."
Zeke, if I see Jordan replacing this felt on this CB6, we lose a
I don't
privilege.
need Jordan to. I don't need Jordan to replace it. I need Jordan to remind me that you asked me to do it.
Jordan,
Yeah, Jordan's
if I
not
see you
doing
reminding
that.
Zeke, if I see you reminding Zeke about this Zeke task, we're all losing a privilege. Pick the privilege.
True.
All right, here was our piece, and voila. Pretty
Voila.
much exactly what we thought it would do, with a nice mix of green and pink with the quartz and a little bit of black. That's just sad, Jeff. Now you can see looking at the outside how boring it looks in comparison.
You had a question?
No, I was answering a question that Jeffrey asked. It's espresso tonight, brown sugar instead of
Isn't
a
important
that what it is
macchiato.
question.
most nights?
No, I was on a
Ew, why would
macchiato
you get
kick
a
for a while.
macchiato from Starbucks? It's not even a real macchiato. It's just a glorified latte with
Oh,
worse
well.
proportions.
I don't know. I like it. I like my coffees with mostly milk or cream.
I feel strongly about
No.
macchiatos.
She likes some cream and milk with a little bit of coffee.
That's actually true, Jordan.
I know. Why do you think I'm the same color as my coffee? Most of it is cream.
All right. So this one, the
Jordan?
prediction was a light to
It's that
dark
one.
green with a lot of translucency and some little white spots in there. And voila. You can see our light to dark green. And we got the white running through it and good separation.
Yeah, it's a good piece.
That's a really good piece of
Jordan?
green moss.
I was gonna say, if you were drinking coffee, the color of your skin, it would be milk. Love you.
Yeah,
You're quite pale.
I know. I am very pale. Tay and Zeke are also very pale.
Not in comparison.
That is true.
But only one of the three of us will wear shorts, and it's not me and Zeke. You'll never know.
I wear shorts all the time.
Instead of a tall glass of water, it's gonna be like, ooh, a tall glass of skim milk.
They agree.
Did you say skin milk?
Skim.
Oh.
I
got
just
very
love
concerned.
the amount. This is a 12-inch saw. It's the
12
Precision
inches
12 in
are
stainless steel.
12 and 14s are such a great size. Everybody should have a 12 or a 14-inch saw. Because you're not always cutting big pieces. Most of the time, I'd say most of the rock that I cut will fit in a 12, unless I'm making a sphere. Isn't that a beautiful piece,
Well,
though? You can see, like, if you don't look at this window, you just look at the rest of this piece, like, it looks okay. But when you see that, you're just like, gosh dang, that's going to be great polished.
Are you cutting slabs out of that?
I am now.
Hit me with a slab. I don't have a green moss in my hex collection as of yet.
the
When you
12.
say hit you with a slab,
See?
If you throw anything at me, I will throw you out.
oh, that
I
was
like
so
the 12, Terry.
violent. Yeah, the stainless steel Model 12 is definitely my favorite little saw.
It's that one he's working on. The one at the end is his baby. That is his petunia.
We do, Heidi, yes. Heidi was wondering if we got some dendritic opal to cut.
Oh, we could cut a piece of
In my
dendritic opal.
defense, Jason, he did uh threaten to throw something at me first.
Oh, we could call it a daisy. Have a daisy and a petunia. Because every
What's the
time I call
reference?
it, he said it's Zeke's petunia, and then Terry said it could be a daisy.
Oh, like the flower. I get it.
Yes.
Like
I'm
the
a little
Millie Fury
slow.
you stole out of that saw.
And what I really
You
like about
son of
calling it
a. You brought it up again.
what I really like about calling it Daisy is that's two great references because you got the Dukes of Hazzard and you're a daisy if you do.
That's not very PC.
That is very PC. It's my favorite show. And a great
Dukes of
line from
Hazzard?
another great movie. Yeah. Yeah, it was like
Oh,
my
I like
childhood
that.
show.
Did we forget?
We
Okay. I feel like we're blanking over a key factor in this.
we did
What
not,
do
Sarah. Oh yeah,
I don't
I can play with the toys during the cut and chats. Normally I really like cleaning. But no, I cab every once in a while down here. I was running the saw today. Oh, add little orange accents, Jason. I love it.
Oh, Zeke,
Yes.
what does we have
Yes, Terry.
here? That wasn't a real
Uh,
sentence. What did I just say?
what do D's have here?
What is have here?
Oh,
What is have here?
oh, I am tired.
That's okay. Honestly, I'm so used to you, Tay, that I didn't even realize there was anything wrong with your sentence until after you pointed it out.
Are you saying it? Okay, that makes me feel worse because that means I speak like that on a consistent basis.
No. Here's another one that I was excited about. I'm getting a finger. Getting two fingers now. Not the fingers you guys are
Okay,
thinking, but
they can see us. We pointed at you.
well, Jordan thumbs down. Here's another one that I I was really excited about because you look at this piece, and again, a lot of people would look at it and go, it's not really that exciting. But you can see that it's gonna have great brecciation pattern running through this. And I like that there's little hints of red on here. So if that's all we had to go off of, I'd be all over cutting that piece because I know it's at a minimum going to have at least great pattern in this yellow, but it's got hints of red in it. Fortunately, this one actually has a fresh break on the other side, and you
My
can see
hips
why I would
crack.
be so excited about this piece. Let me grab the spray bottle. We'll get it wet now. Here's another good part of it where you can see that red starting to go more into the piece. And when we look at the fresh break, you can see just how good that piece really is. So if all we had to go on was that, I'd still be very excited about this piece. And then, oh, getting better and better right there. This is some of the Indonesian red moss. Man, that's a really good face right there. But then when you see that fresh break, you can really see how good that piece is.
Zeke, what material
Yes,
are you looking at again? Sorry, I can't see in a little window.
that's the Indonesian red moss.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Should also
Your
get
guys' echo.
Misty. Zeke,
Yeah,
you should also do a piece of Misty.
yeah. All right, here's another one that if you don't have the window to go off of, you can see it's got this translucent skin in some of these areas. And it's just got great separation in that moss. So this is another one that I would be very excited about. And this is actually a little bit of a window, but it's still a little river tumbled because you can see this more solid area. But even on the solid skin here, you can kind of see this ripply looking pattern on the skin. That's always a good sign when you're looking at moss because that's going to be good for the, showing that it's got pattern in there.
Zeke,
Now, this window down here, this is where I'd be like, maybe I don't know about this piece. This window here, I really like this piece because you can start to see that it's going to have good translucency and nice moss in there. And then if we get all the way to the window, you can see where it's got a fresh break on there. You're like, oh, that's a killer piece. So that's why you got to look for little signs. Because if you didn't have this window right here, I guarantee a lot of people would pass over this piece. But if you start to really learn to read rock, you can be like, well, I like this dimply pattern here, or kind of rippled pattern on the skin. If we look at the other side over here, you can see it's going to have good translucent agate in there and nice moss pattern. But I guarantee if we were showing this one on the live event, it would not sell till you held it up to that face. But you can see when you look at that, that's a phenomenal piece of moss. I might have to get
Zeke,
a coat out of this tonight. Yes.
that Indonesian moss, is it good to hammer or use the saw to cut down?
You can break it with a hammer. This would be a fine material for that. Yeah, that is a really fun one. All right. Let's go check on the saws. And should we throw these two pieces in there? I bet Tay wouldn't mind making a hex cab out of that.
Big fan.
I know John would be drooling if he was here with us.
How you just referred to that as like he's dead.
John is
If he
still
was still with
alive.
us.
He is
John
very
is
much
still
still with
alive.
us. We just said his name 3 times, so him and Sherman will come floating through the door in a second.
Yeah, no kidding.
Did that the other night.
They definitely are summoned. All right. I just turned off the other saws too so we can finish looking at that green moss.
I
Are
did
you
it
guys
earlier,
enjoying this?
actually. I'm enjoying it. Are you, Zachary?
I'm having a
And
great
Tay?
time. I'm sitting here cutting good
Where
rock,
is the soap?
hanging out with y'all.
Did
I
you
Yeah,
feel
steal
like I
my
saw the soap
soap?
in I saw the soap in a very random place. It's next to the cab machine, actually. I don't know why it's there, but it's there.
What the?
Oh, I know why it's there.
Do share with the class.
I was shooting video earlier and cutting agates on the trim saw, and I put a drop of Dawn dish soap in the 6-inch.
Ah. And you needed the entire half a gallon bottle?
Well, let's just say the lubricity was great.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Is that even a word?
Lubricity, yes.
Lubricity?
Yes.
Can
It's
we
one of my
fact check
favorite
this?
words.
I don't
I
trust
love that
things
word.
that Zeke says.
I don't even know how to
It is a
spell
real
that.
One of
Hold
y'all
on.
want to confirm that I'm speaking the truth here? This is real word.
Lubricity. Okay, yeah. I just had to talk
Is
to text it, but it is a word. A measure of a
Dang
fluid's
it.
ability to reduce friction and wear between surfaces in relative motion.
yep.
It
Okay,
is
so
That's
essentially
you
the
used it
anti-wear.
correctly.
I did use it correctly. Yes.
You know what? I'm impressed.
Thank you, Jay.
Okay, you get a cookie back.
Yay. I do love that word. It's such a fun word. You know what we need to do? We need to start having a word of the day.
We should do
You know,
Wordle,
anytime I
lapidary
use a new
Wordle.
word, you make fun of me.
Not make fun of you, just like Tay will like just casually drop this like huge word that you're like, oh my gosh, my head's hurting trying to figure out what Tay's saying.
Yeah,
You
if we did
see,
like a Highland Park Wordle, I think that would be fun.
the first word is like
Oh.
chatoyancy,
For today's word of the day, we have
Bachtroidal.
chatoyant, a word that describes an asterisk flash in stone. Oh, we can call it the Tayisms. That's a
Okay,
Tayism.
that
I love that.
sounds.
That's a John reference. John was like, "That's a Tayism."
Did he say that?
He did, in fact, say
Yeah,
that
he did say that to me and
About
Stacey.
what?
when we were like, "Oh, silly Uncle John."
Uh,
Ariana's alive.
Man,
in my
that's a
defense,
good
I was
piece.
like 5 when I came up with that.
You guys like that piece of green moss? Meh. We're gonna cut a slab
Meh.
Let's
off of
see.
it
Let's
too.
see. Oh, never mind. Can I steal one of these?
I
What a
like that,
what?
Terry.
The green little slabs there?
No, I was gonna steal your Iwaki.
I was trying to figure out what you were looking at. Oh
Oh,
my
you know what we could
goodness.
do? Figure out how to soak this guy. Oh, wait, Zeke. Damn it. Never mind.
Yeah, I already thought about that. I was like, dang
Oh,
it.
you. It just doesn't fit. I got excited too. It was a solution. The sphere that you guys watched me cut and then had an internal fracture, we've been trying to find a container for it for weeks to soak it in acetone without poisoning the air.
Oh,
No luck.
there's another really good piece.
Yeah,
You
Kyle
can see
on
you
the
got
Rough Rock Knights.
you got this like
Oh.
bluish white agate with a darker green tendril pattern running through it. I love when you use that emoji, Jason. I can just picture the face that goes with it. Kicking the camera. I keep moving this piece of red moss down, going, oh, I guess we'll put it in the next saw. I guess we'll put it in the next saw. I'll have some options for you, Tay.
Oh, I like options. I keep hitting my head.
I love those things, Jack. Like when you go in, like those are good, and I like the little wipes that they give you, like when you have ribs at a restaurant, the little packets. I always keep some of those in my car.
Some wet wipes.
No, they're different. Like alcohol pads, I think they're called.
I've never gotten ribs at a restaurant. I've gotten them at like the curb in the middle of
You
the
know,
South.
Tay, we could smoke some ribs.
Yes.
A
I
curb.
told you I was into this. I will sit as you smoke the ribs. You have
Don't worry,
freeloaded on one
I
too
didn't
many
want any
meals at
ribs,
my house.
guys.
Well, you can come. You live right next door, Jordan.
No, I was just gonna watch through the window and just be like, oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
okay.
That's a cool piece.
Jordan with a just like the sad puppy face in the window.
Wait, no, no. You know those photos of like the bird in a bird cage and his head is just between two bars and the rest of the bird cage has no bars? That's Jordan right now.
Tay told me the other day, she's like, "You're like SpongeBob with the big shackles on that are not actually doing anything. You're just holding yourself there."
Yep.
We are our own worst enemy sometimes.
Now, what did you guys think of the green moss? We showed all the pieces that we cut. Ariana for
Huh?
Shane. Oh, Ariana's
Huh?
Meng. Meng, did you put green
Hold
moss?
on, Zikri. Anytime you can ask questions about machines. Tonight's a really good night to do it.
Don't you love it when you fill a bin with water and that bin has a crack in it?
Yes. And the reason it has crack in it is probably because of me. Sorry.
And then all the water goes into your shoe.
Oh, I bet
Did
that
you have a
malachite is
question?
done.
Did you have a question on a certain machine? I think Tad asked earlier. Yeah, Zikri, I mean, for Pete's sake, open up the tumbler tonight. It's
Uh,
time.
we'll do we'll do a video on it.
Well, I've massacred one of his tumblers in his defense. I needed to look at something.
Yeah, that's true,
Oh,
actually.
wait, no, you also massacred that tumbler.
That's
Uh,
okay.
so
You can
a
take the
lot of
fall
people
for it.
know so the lab okay, thanks, you're so kind. The lab here in Massachusetts is our test lab, and with our test lab, it means we test a bunch of new concepts on our machines, which means sometimes our machines do not run after we
Uh,
test a concept.
Also, sometimes we just take them apart to look for improvements or things, learn about the machine as we take it apart, or sometimes we're just shooting instructional video because somebody's eventually going to need it.
Yep.
Or when you get someone like me that, runs something too rigorous and then you learn how to fix
Well,
it because you're like, oh, I may have used that a little harder than intended.
well, it's always good to know at what capacity your machines can run and what you can and can't do with them. And
Oh,
the
look at
most
that.
annoying
Good timing.
things, as John says, is someone sells you a machine that they've never run themselves.
Oh, I'm so excited to make this cap with you guys. All right, so you can see that piece of malachite. Like, it's not bad, but it's not
Exactly,
great yet.
Lawrence.
It's gonna get so much better.
Yeah, you guys like it so far? I really like that malachite cap that Zeke did with all the eyes in it.
I should have moved that over just a tad bit further because I wanted it a really thick slab. All right, we'll cut that off. That's still gonna be a decent slab, but that one's gonna get so much better. If you guys like that, you'll really like it when we're done polishing it.
Um,
Oh, that one's not quite done.
what are you using, Tad, for your bushings? That what's the use the Lucas Extreme gun oil, Zeke,
Yeah, that or super lube.
on your bushings, the open and closed ones, Tad. Are you using that for those?
Is Tad's shaft season up?
Yeah, the 3-in-1 isn't gonna be the um one that you're gonna want to use for your tumblers. You're gonna want to use that Lucas Extreme Gun Oil for that stuff. The 3-in-1 doesn't work that well with the bushings.
Hey, Lizelle, are you on?
You see a new set.
Yeah, get Tad a new set of bushings for his tumbler and a link to that oil. Hey, Sherman.
Here, I can get you a
Sure.
link to that oil, Ted.
Sherman and John are working hard. They're in and
I'm
out,
gonna
running around like
post
crazy.
grab you guys a link for that. But team, just grab that for Tad and we can help him out.
Got it, Jordan.
Thank you, Ahmed. I appreciate it.
All right, back to the table.
Yeah, I'm gonna post in the chat a link.
You want to do the Amazon link? That might be a little bit
Oh,
easier for a lot of people.
Sure.
Thank you. All
Can you
right, we're gonna
show
look.
the Zeke, you show the difference in cutting an agate with the grain and against, if that makes any sense.
It's are you talking about like a seam agate or are you talking about like a nodule? Or a piece of petrified wood might be better for that, unless we're depends on what we're looking to get out of it. And we're gonna talk about this piece of Ruby Zoisite next, and then if you have guys have requests, you can put them in the chat, and I can go pull something. All right, so this is a really beautiful piece of Ruby Zoisite. Like, look how crazy that ruby is on top there. Takes up half the freaking stone on the top there. But if you do not know, a lot of this ruby is in layers, um, or it doesn't go all the way through. So, like, if you look at this piece, you can see that that ruby is only that thick right there. So, a lot of people, if you cut it this way, would be disappointed with this piece. You go, oh, well, I was really hoping for more of that ruby in there. It's like, it's okay. Because you get some rubies in there, but it would be kind of disappointing to cut it this way if this is what you're looking to get. So this piece, I would take my time and I'd clamp it in the saw so I could cut that face off and use this outside rough here as the what I would dome polish for my like cabs if I was going to make cabs out of this. So that's something to consider when you're cutting this piece. Like if you slice it up this way, you're probably going to be disappointed because your ruby's just going to be a little bit on the edge. But if we line it up, cut it that way, we can get a lot more ruby out of that slab right there. And then you can turn it and cut the rest of it up the traditional way, or you can keep cutting it this way and look for rubies in the piece. But this is definitely one to cut to that face right there. So let's go throw this one in maybe the 20 here.
Thank you, Ahmed. I appreciate it. Zeke, this one. Do you have any tips for getting the magnetic flat laps off the plate on the 18-inch flat
Oh,
lap?
yes, I do. I got a great way to take those off. I actually got two good ways to take those off.
Did you guys see that link that I posted for you for that gun oil? Yeah, the Lucas is the one that I posted the link for you guys, and the team has that now for you guys too. Awesome. There you go. I just posted it again for y'all.
All right. So this one, I'll take a little bit longer to clamp this because I want to line that up and get that as parallel as I can to the blade because that's going to help us when we're capping. So it's better to spend a little bit more time now.
Zikri,
Yeah.
what if the vice carriage on the 12-inch rubs the screw drive when manually rolling up and back? The rails are clean.
You're talking about when you unlock it and you with nothing in it, you slide it and it feels like it's grinding the threads.
Yes.
All right, so what's happened is your feed dogs there just need to be adjusted. And I can shoot a little video on how to do that. But basically, just a little rundown there. There's two bolts on the front there.
What
You're
am
just
I
gonna
cutting?
loosen those and adjust it so
Oh,
that when
in
you
these
roll it.
saws, a couple
Tay,
materials that we went over in rev.
Tay,
So Unicate.
will you mute for a second? So what you're gonna do is loosen those two screws and you're gonna adjust it up and down so that when you roll it, it's not rubbing at all. It's a very easy adjustment. And if you need help, let me know. I'll shoot a video for you. All right.
And
That's pretty flat there. And I'm gonna give
yeah,
you guys
well,
a little trick. When I'm clamping a piece like this where I'm gonna cut the rough face, I'm gonna get that one of the lower spots on there as close to the face of the blade as I can and count my turns over from there. So that's a little bit lower of a spot. And I'm going to do a little bit thicker of a slab now to account for that. So I'll probably, normally I do like 7 turns. I'm going to do 8 turns so that I have room to work this uneven face into the dome. You can go ahead, Jordan.
um, sorry, I just forgot how to read. Also bought the 10-inch trim saw. Each time I clean it off, the blade is rusting, and Ariana's drying it each time.
Yeah, you'll get some rust on there. Um, it's not a big deal to have a little surface rust, especially if you start cutting and you notice that the rust disappears with your cut. But you're gonna get some. That's normal.
Hi, Sherry. Yeah, tonight, the
Ooh.
Thursdays, for those of you that haven't joined us, or just starting to get familiar with us, we do cut and chats every single Thursday. So you can ask machine questions any night, but Thursdays are really good because we're specifically set up in the lab to be able to walk over to the machines, for whatever you guys may need help with. Hi, Cynthia.
Oh man,
That's a
this is
pretty
such
saw.
a cool one. All right, so this is that bubbly piece of malachite. And you guys remember that other one with the flat banding, how it had a couple little bands in it? Oh, this one, so you can see we cut through this bubbly area. That one is just loaded with eyes in there. And because this is malachite, it kind of gets a ugly look on it when you start cutting it. This is actually get a lot better. So if you cut this and you're like, man, I'm disappointed in the color in that, you got to polish it a little bit to see how it's truly going to look. So let's actually wash this and take it over to the wet belt sander and clean this face up so you guys can actually see what this piece is really going to look like. Because this is going to get like 10 times better once we start hitting that with a 220 grit belt.
Hi, Glenn.
Because it's a little disappointing the way it looks right now. All right. Let's go. I'm gonna go wash that piece quick, and then we'll take
Zekri.
it over the wet belt sander. Yes.
On stabilization, not a machine. Is the cactus juice suggested for rocks the same as cactus juice for woodworking?
Yep. It actually was originally intended for woodworking. The guy that did it originally, like he did a little bit of lapidary, but he wasn't super into it, from what I understand. And as he just, more and more people use it for lapidary, I think he got more and more invested into the lapidary side of it. He's a nice guy. He's actually in our Rough Rock or our Rough Rock and Machine group. I've seen him post a couple times.
Does the large rock gripper fit in the vise of the Model 16?
Maybe if you had thinner boards. If you got a 16, I would go with the small gripper.
Yeah, that Unikite's really pretty. It's very bright material that John got.
All right. I'll wash up here. I'm excited to show this to you guys. John all happy walking through the lab.
Yeah.
So it looks cool, but it still can get so much better. Let's go polish this up a little bit, and I'll have you guys take a mental note of how this piece looks. So everybody lock in their mental picture. Jordan was like, click,
Clicked, locked in.
locked in.
Locked. What grit are you using on this belt, Zachary?
I'm gonna start with 220, assuming that we got a decent 220 belt sitting here. All right, let me grab safety glasses.
Are the adjustment set screws for the 10-inch screw drive inside the saw tank or outside under the front cover where the screw connects to the motor?
I didn't understand the question. Let's see. Let me read it.
Yep, I'm going.
Yeah, well, the connection point that holds the feed screw on is attached to that little gear motor in the front. So you got to take the feed screw out. You would have to take that front control box off, and then the motor is going to be attached to the feed screw. All right.
Sorry, one more thing, Zeke. Is Tad still in here? Tad, while I have it on my mind, what nut are you running on your tumbler? Are you running a nylon nut?
For the barrel.
Yeah, for the barrel. Yeah, Zeke's polishing some malachite on that wet belt sander right now. Okay, all right, perfect. I cannot get the plug/bolt out of my HT12 drain. Any suggestions or just bigger muscles?
Oh, well, make sure you turn it the right direction. Um, and that's not a diss on anybody. I've done it before too. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. And yes, a good size wrench. One thing that you can do is if you got, let's say your bolt is here, don't try to lift the bolt or turn it like this. Put your wrench on here so that you're using gravity to push down. But yeah, because you're going to be going that way to loosen it. I see people do that all the time, struggle with taking stuff off because they're fighting gravity too. You can really use a lot more leverage that way. That is the gravity of the situation, Ed.
It
That's
is.
so funny. All right, we're looking a little bit better. We're gonna go up a little bit higher in grit. Because this is a good example of if somebody got this and you've seen polished malachite, you've never seen the rough before, you might be really disappointed with your piece and not even realize that it's a good piece. Because you might go, well, I cut it and it's kind of black. Because almost all the malachite turns almost black when you cut it.
Yeah, we're not doing those stainless steel ones anymore. Does malachite soak up oil?
Yeah, it's slightly porous. It's not too bad, so I wouldn't worry about it. Stick it in your oil absorbent and it'll be fine. But you also get different levels of porous. A lot of the malachite people find in the US, like the stuff I used to go collect is a lot more porous than like the stuff that you see from Africa or the Congo.
Is it a big deal when you cut on the um cut malachite on the saw? Like, do you need to, or do you wait until you have to clean it anyway?
I generally wait till I gotta clean it. Um, or if I'm running an ever clean, then I don't worry about it.
And then can you do cabs on the wet belt sander?
You most definitely can. In fact, I just shot a video of making cab on the wet belt sander.
Go Seacree. Yeah, that Everclean's a tank. Zeke, did you like just shoot that video?
Yeah, I uploaded it last night at like 1 2 in the morning. I uploaded it for the team to edit and put together. We also, a couple weeks ago, I shot the video, for the one that's going in the manual. We did an instructional for the manual.
Thanks, Sherry.
No, my little light died. That's already so much better. Although, heck, now we're halfway done. Might as well polish it.
From 220, then what grit did you do?
400. All right, I'm gonna go rinse it off really quick and then show it to you guys so you can see how much better it's already gotten. And then we could probably check the saws. Unless you guys want me to finish polishing this.
Any word on the mystery barrels?
I have not gotten an update on those, other than John is calling and asking. But the last update a few days ago was likely in at least another month. That's the problem with the freight shipments is, delay for them is usually measured in weeks.
John, are you still planning on driving up here to pick them up? Because I know you're not that far. Yeah, okay. That cabinet looks so pretty.
Yeah, all brand new.
Then
Well,
Philzy
there you
goes and
go.
touches it.
I'm not doing nothing to that cabinet other than installing it. This is such a cool
Yeah.
piece. And it'll just keep getting better and better. Actually, even if we just do a light buff on it now, it'd look pretty good. You can see the scratches in there. Malachite's pretty soft. All right, let's check the saws, and then we can come back to that one if you guys want to. I
That
do
Whip
want to
Bell
make a
Center is so
cab.
cool.
I do want to make a cab out of that other piece that we're slabbing.
Team, is tomorrow the last day they can sign up for the tumbler giveaway?
Hey Jordan, would you get me one of these lights?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Marvin. You want to post the link for the giveaway in the chat for everyone, please? And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They're from Harbor Freight.
What, the gloves?
Yeah. Oh.
The guy that was here earlier, Zeke, he
Uh-huh.
was like, I never thought of paper towel holders for the saws. That's genius.
You know what's funny? It's not something I would ever thought about either. When you said it, I was like, that's a great idea. I'm just swapping out the light here. Thank you. Gosh dang, that's a beautiful piece. The hammer holders were from Amazon.
I can
I
get you
just
a
looked
link if you
up
want.
I just looked up magnetic they're not called hammer holders. I just looked up magnetic hook and I looked for one that had two so that hammer would sit down in there. And those ones were actually a little bit tight. I had to bend them out a little bit.
Yeah, I'll grab you guys a link.
That piece that we were showing was a piece of the Indonesian red moss. You guys wouldn't want to do tote out of that tonight, would you? There's another really nice piece of the moss. I think Tay will take this one to make one of her hex cabs. We'll see which one Tay likes more. I cut this one because I wanted you guys to see how much light came through these pieces. You start cutting them. The druzy pockets. I love the little hint of blue in there. She
What
is
was
the real
that?
sweetie. What was what?
That sounded like something dropped. Did you drop something?
I heard it, but it wasn't me.
Oh. Thank you,
That
Ed.
was
You're sweet too.
John and Sherman.
Oh, I thought it was glass for a second.
You
Oh,
know,
here's another
you
one.
think?
I think. Oh, look at the light coming through there. I think this is gonna be the one that Tay steals to make the hex cab. We'll see though. Tay, are you around?
Yeah, I'm over here playing with brake cleaner.
Oh, fun.
I
Will you take a
know.
second to come choose a slab? We're curious to see which one's your favorite of those green mosses.
Yeah, the green
Let's
We could
moss
do
is
see.
awesome.
we could do out of the green moss too.
I'm gonna go grab
Out
some
of
racks
these
real
three
quick
right
too.
here. Oh, awesome.
That is
All
good
right.
advice, Kimberly.
Here was that other piece of moss that we cut. Gosh, dang, that's good. Oh, okay. Tay did not pick the one I thought she was going to.
I wanted the tubes.
Mm,
I think I'm gonna do this because this is more green tree, and this for the green moss.
okay. Yeah,
This
that's a
one
really
I
pretty piece.
like because it's super agatized and translucent, but I wouldn't do it for the hex cab because I'm putting a magnet on the back, so it wouldn't be advantageous for a piece like this.
My theory with why you would pick that one was it was because it was the most consistently traditional looking piece of green moss. Like when you think of a piece of green moss from India, that's the one that I like. That's the pattern I think of and the coloration.
You think I'm traditional?
No, I thought you'd for the board, that would be the one you'd pick. I liked all of them though, so we didn't cut a bad piece. It's funny. Tay's favorite was actually the one that you guys went meh at. Just saying.
Yeah. What? Is that a diss at me?
No, it wasn't a diss at all. Mostly I was harassing Ed and Ariana.
Oh,
Definitely. She's making a hex cab with it. She's cursing people now.
yeah. Okay.
Zickery.
That was funny. That was pretty funny. I'll give that to you, okay? You don't get me often, but you got me this time. Stupid. Hex cap. Okay, never mind. You're good. I don't know
My
if that
favorite
got
part of
me.
that. My favorite part of that was the hex cab.
Shut up. It was- my brake cleaner, um, as a parts cleaner, some things for old saws come very dirty with grease you don't want to even think about. So I have a lot of parts and brake cleaner.
Or when you're doing something like rebuilding a great big CNC machine like John and Sherman are. A lot of old grease to
That
clean up.
is, yeah, we also have a lot of wasp killer, because two people in this establishment are deathly allergic to bees and wasp sting.
I've never seen a single wasp here, so I did wonder why there was like
Do not
85
jinx us.
bottles.
Because if there is a single wasp here that gets me or Sherman, that's called anaphylaxis.
It's very
Not
scary.
the funnest thing. Yeah.
We do have an excessive
I-
amount of wasp spray though.
No, only 4 bottles.
Yes, I don't think there's a single EpiPen in here, and I think there's like 3 or 4 people that
I
need
have
them.
one in my desk.
Oh, do
Oh,
you
that's
now?
good to know.
I have everything in my desk. Jordan knows.
This is true.
This is the way. All right, I grabbed a couple more pieces for us to cut together on our adventures of reading rock. So here's our example piece of the Cherry Creek. You you can see this kind of ironed skin. There's a little bit of lines coming through. She is dead, but I like that little window right there. And I
Another
like
break.
that uh area right there. So this one, again, if you're looking at this material, you might go, that kind of sucks. But it's because when this separates, you get these layers, the same little things that cause the lines inside the beat material, where it separates and it's just kind of unattractive. So you really got to pay attention to your windows like here, because that pattern is what you're going to see when you cut the piece. This line right here is another good telling window. Then let's see, where's the other side? This one right here is also a very telling window of what this piece is going to look like. So this piece, when we cut it, my prediction would be that it's mostly a green with a hint of blue. It's going to have brown spider webbing and a little bit of reddish pink running through it.
Why do we have 4 things of antifreeze?
That one I cannot answer.
Are you sure it's antifreeze and not window washer fluid?
All vehicles antifreeze.
Oh, okay. Because like that green bottle is one I bought when I was at the store, but Sherman rejected my window washer fluid.
Sweetie, I can read.
Well, I wasn't sure which. I couldn't see that here, but I was surprised that we had 4 bottles. I thought we only had 2.
I know, right? It's an interesting thing.
And I got a sweetie out of Tay. I feel so loved. Jordan's hat.
Another antifreeze. Okay.
I was probably due to check the fork trucks anyway, so we can clear out a
True.
bottle.
True.
All right. Here's another varied patinaed piece of lapis. Often when you get lapis, again, it's the same way where it separates on these white lines. So you rarely ever see the true color unless it's got a fresh break on it. This window right here, that's going to be the color inside of this piece. And one of the other things I'll point out is that you can see some bands going in this direction. If you want lines in the lapis, cut parallel to this face. So you stick it in and cut it up this way. If you want the most solid, rich blue, slice it up this way. Tay's favorite color is forest green. We actually just had this conversation today.
It is. Why are you? What is the subject of conversation? Oh, yeah.
Someone
It is
asked.
dark green or forest green. My entire bedroom, I have a shag carpet that looks like grass. And then I have plants. I have a monstera, and then I have little creeping willow plants that go on my windows. My bed sheets are a dark green.
It's very
Yeah.
foresty.
Yeah.
You wouldn't happen to know where the green jade is in the grid, would you? Secret you're
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
The green jade is on this side of the wall over here, closest to the cord drill in that bin.
Close to the cordial. Okay. Walked all the way around
She
the
was
room.
on the other side of the room.
Thank you. Getting some rock put away.
This piece is not wanting to line up exactly how I want it to. But this is another one where I'm taking my time to clamp it because I want it as lined up with the bands as absolutely possible. so that I get the most rich blue slabs.
I love it, Terry.
What?
No clampaprosity.
All right. I'll put her there. And then when we make the slab, we'll be cutting out that most rich blue right there. All right. And I did grab another piece. This is one I was looking at the other night. This piece of bone wood. I was looking at this area right there, and it's not bright colors. But when you see these rot cells right here and right there, I'm like, man, this one is just going to be so good with the pattern.
Speaking
And
of bonewood,
this is actually one that got passed on in Tote Night, and I was flabbergasted because it's like, oh my gosh, that's so good. Yes, Tay.
speaking of bonewood, a friend of yours needs some bonewood for some hexes.
Oh, that's fun.
There's also some palm wood,
Mhm.
Tay, for your hexes too. Over here.
Mm. Well, you know what that means, Jordan.
Yeah.
Then we need to get on cutting hex cabs.
I'll happily cut hex caps. I didn't know I was part of that project.
Well, I'm not closing the project. There are hundreds of stones and only one me.
Actually, eventually there'll be thousands of stones.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm right now playing with chemicals. Just kidding. I'm just organizing them.
Well, Tay did dress up as Walter White. Oh no, was that cat or was
I
that
was Pit.
That
I
was-
was Pitbull.
Nope.
that
That was
was
cat.
Kitty Cat?
That would be Catburn. Yep.
Just because they're bald with goatees doesn't mean they're all the same, Zeke.
Hey, I got one of us close.
Know your icons.
That's a good question, James. Have we ever done a cut and chat on how to set up a hobby business versus a regular business?
Um, I would say with that, I mean, we could do it more focused on hobby. What I would say with that is the ones that we've done on like building and starting a business would be a lot of the same principles. The only thing that I would change really is you don't have to think about making money as much as you do just covering costs or, not as high of margin. So you don't need to make as much on your pieces. So if you're doing maybe as a business where that's your income, maybe you're doing 3 to 5 times, a markup on something. Maybe you only do 2 or 3 time markup on something would be the only thing that I'd really change. And then of course, you don't have to work as hard of like posting 6 times a day or, maybe you just do it once a day or once a week as you enjoy it.
Park was a hobby business.
What?
Highland Park with John and Sherman kind of started as a hobby business.
Oh, that's
Turned in-
true.
Yep. So I think it's yeah. You can grow anything.
All right. I'm gonna wash that malachite slab and then we can do that cab next. Because I think you guys are gonna be very impressed with this piece.
Hey, what am I doing with these redwood pieces, Zeke?
The redwood piece, the slabs.
Yeah.
They just need to be lotted up, but I started one of the stainless steel bins of slabs like that. You can just
Oh,
stick it in there
perfect.
until I get a chance to go through and price them and lot them.
That was gonna be my next suggestion. I love it.
You what?
I can
So
I
if
can
you
tell what
want to
material they
see
like.
if you want to see hex cabs, I fear I don't really have many completed ones. What I do is I basically production run my cabs. I right now am just going through and shaping a bunch of them. And shaping just means I'm getting the outline of the cab. I'm not even roughing into the dome or anything. So I'm just right now cutting down on a trim saw and shaping through my cabs. Nope, really polishing or anything right now. The reason why I am doing it in more of a production run is I have very limited time to cut as of late. Most of the time that I have to cut is during live events. I have
Oh,
I
all right.
have like 3 finished ones, almost 4, technically
The slab
5.
the slab did not break in the saw. I took it and snapped it, but
What?
we'll have fun cutting this one. This is gonna be a really fun one to cut. Oh, hello, Tay.
Oh, that was really trippy seeing me from behind.
It's like a horror movie.
I think I could outrun you.
No, not like a horror movie is in like, well, yeah, horror movie is in like, yeah, like coming to get you.
Yes.
I do like snapping things, but also I'd rather it break when I try to snap it than when I'm trying to polish the cab.
Oh, I just had a really sad one snap on me. I was doing a purple jade piece and there was a fault in it. It wasn't a fracture, it was a fault, but I cut it a little too aggressively and just uh it was lights for it, I'm afraid. I know, I think it's because Zeke was close. It felt the presence. I'll
Felt
show
the
you. I'll show
presence.
you the poor soul itself.
It pre-offed itself, so I didn't snap it.
This is true.
Ooh,
I
oh
was rough
man.
shaping and it just
That's my favorite piece of the Chinese Tiffany stone.
yeah.
Where's the stainless
Well,
steel
here you
tote
go.
secret that you were talking about?
Thank you.
Go for it, my friend. No.
All right, let's cut out a piece of this malachite. It's right in front of you.
I got it. I got it.
Oh, you know what I'm missing, Zeke?
What's that?
Some malachite in my hex collection.
Well, Tay, you can start going shopping in the stainless steel tote now.
Hey,
Ah,
Did I do that?
yes.
I do
No.
have some of your lepidolite.
Oh, that's a good slab.
Yeah, I kind of went through all your slabs.
That doesn't surprise me.
Excuse me. Why labor when the labor has already done it for you?
That's the main lepidolite. Center
Yeah, we got
stage
East
unit.
Coast. Right from the home.
That stuff's really pretty.
This is just water that we're cutting in. I've been here
Who's
longer,
been there
Ariana.
longer? Uh-huh. How so?
I mean, we hardly have seen you the last couple of years. That was the eye daggers.
I'm not even
We
glaring. I'm just looking.
we just had this conversation the other day, so I got to rehearse Tay a
What do you
little
mean?
bit about that
About
it was pre-planned for you to go to school.
True.
We should do a tote out of that Indo palm wood.
Oh yeah, we
I mean,
could.
2008 did a number. You got to have some redundancies.
All right. That's right. So we got kind of a boring piece of malachite the way it is. This is gonna get so much better as we polish it.
What shape are you feeling? May I present the best shape?
It did not align with doing that shape, which is why I didn't do a hex. It wouldn't have been big enough to match your other ones with the fracture that was in it. You know, I'm feeling this one should be more rounded instead of squared.
That wheel's getting slightly dull. Hey, Jordan.
You know what's funny is a lot of people would
Yeah,
still use that
guys.
another year.
What's up?
1 foot to the side.
Oops, sorry, I was
Lovely.
scrolling for you guys. Like this side. Did I do
You
that?
rub up on her every day. She
She
becomes
was
more
like this
and more similar.
before me.
Hey, Zigger, you don't need to agree with me.
If anything, I've gotten more sassy since Jordan started.
I don't know. You kind of came into the company sassing.
Agreed.
Yeah, but if anything, Jordan wore off on me on being extra sassy.
If you're
Yeah.
not original, Seek, just say that.
Oh.
That was all me.
How often do you have to change a cabin wheel roughly? Well, we have never changed these wheels, so for the centered ones, it's about keeping them nice and clean. Isn't that right, Zeke?
Yeah, they last a really long time. Unless you're doing
I
production cutting, most people will never wear out a centered wheel, or everybody that I've talked to that's worn one out, because I've never had one long enough to wear it out, has told me about 10 to 15 years of a lot of cutting.
There you go. The thing that's getting the closest is our resin wheels, and we've cut how many cabs? Probably
At least a couple thousand.
like a lot of cut cabs here. It takes a while to have to replace your wheels, but it also depends on the material you cut. If you're cutting straight, really hard agate jaspers, you're gonna wear your wheels faster than if you're cutting softer materials. But even
You know
then,
what?
it's
I would, because I was
depends.
cutting production, what I would do is I would plan 6 months out at a time of what, stones that I was going to be cutting or things that I wanted to cut. And I would start with all my hard materials, and as the wheels worn, I'd go softer and softer materials. And usually what I would end with was doing a big batch of turquoise before I got rid of them.
Well, we haven't worn any flat laps because we don't tend to production cut flat laps here. But similar thing, depends how much you're cutting and what you're cutting. What would you give an average span of a flat lap, Zeke?
Oh, well, it depends on the size too. I don't know that I've used the flat lap consistently enough to give you a really accurate estimation because it's not a tool I used a ton in my shop. And it's really going to depend on use because I've seen people wear them out really fast and other people have them last years.
One thing that will also predict the wear of your equipment is how much water you're running or coolant. If you're running things more dry, they're going to wear faster.
Yeah, especially on the resin.
Hmm.
Yeah, how you use it definitely will affect it. How hard you push the materials that you're cutting.
Zeke pushes much harder into wheels than I do.
I was also burning through a set of resin wheels and or like cabbing wheels every 6 months.
Yep. So technique does play quite heavily into your use as well. That's why that question is a little bit tricky to answer because it's very dependent on user.
I'm so happy with this cab.
Why?
It just is going to be so cool with a pooling pattern in it. It's also a different style of cabbing than what I normally do. A wire wrapper would hate trying to set this cab, but a silversmith would be like, "Oh my gosh, I can use such a small bezel."
Is Cody still in the room?
Probably. It's still early for him.
I know he's back on California time. I do not see. Are you taking the TV from me?
No, I'm moving the cord so I can get some more rock put away.
The resin wheels, you'll start to wear through the resin entirely and start to see like the black belt behind it. That's when they're totally done.
Oh, interesting.
What?
There's a piece of Goldfinger on this rack.
So is Jordan going out to help Cody move?
Well, yeah, seeing as I'm the designated mover for everyone here.
You've never helped me move.
Well, not
Uh,
you, but I've helped Zeke move
Zeke's
every single time.
Zeke's first things he's ever done was help me move working for Highland Park. I didn't even know he was coming. Sherman just asked him, "Hey Zeke, can you help me move my daughter?" And he was there.
That's not really how Sherman asks.
Oh, you're telling
In
me.
the begin in the beginning, it was more like Zeke. At this time, we're going to be going here. Not that I wasn't happy to help, but
I was also
Zeke
happy
was
to help you
welcomed in
move the
part of
first
the
time,
family.
Zeke.
yeah, Sherman was very welcoming when I moved out here.
Again, Zeke has shown up to more of my family holidays than I have.
What did you say, Jordan?
I said these pieces of King Cobra are really nice. They're big. The one that
Yeah, those,
John had the
those
boys cut.
those are really impressive.
That's such a gnarly piece of. This is wood, right?
Yes, that's a limb cast.
That's a really cool piece. I like that one a lot. There's one piece of Goldfinger on that rack. If someone wants to take a peek at that one, can steal the camera from Zeke.
All
Like a blocky
right.
chunk.
Did you guys think we'd be able to get that kind of pattern out of that piece? That is so cool with the way it perfectly waves into the shape of the stone. That's kind of why I picked this shape too. No, it's a dark green to light green. There might be a little black in there too.
I'm not an easily jealous person, but one thing I am jealous of is the speed. Two things I'm jealous of: Zeke, his optimism, one of the most optimistic, happy people I know. It's quite refreshing. And his speed in making cabs. Oh, three things. And his smoker.
You will have to come over and maybe when John and Sherman head
Hmm.
out, we'll have to have a backyard, set up the fire and smoke some meat.
Hmm.
Tay's like, you don't gotta tell me twice.
Hmm. I already invited myself over in my head. It's okay.
Now you gotta be careful not to use too little water on the malachite. You can see just right there, I already burned it a little bit.
What does burning it mean?
That's where like the resin was burning to the stone, leaving a little black spot. It's where there was too much friction and not enough lubricant.
Zachary, what am I doing with your Sonoran preform? Where is that going?
We should probably just offer that one out.
Okay. How much?
I don't know. I gotta weigh it. See?
I'm in a cleaning mode. I want these racks gone.
I love it.
Just here.
With doing a dome like this, you really gotta be careful um not to leave little flat spots and unpolished areas around these more steep curves. Like you can see right there, all those little areas that I missed. That's actually one of the reasons that I cab this the way I do, is it's faster. This takes longer to do with this kind of style because you got a lot more spots to potentially miss.
Oh, that's actually unfortunate. My plan to steal your Oh, actually, fortune has sung upon me.
It's like the pun.
Yeah, that is the word of the day. I like it.
The
Is there a
fractured
tote for
thought it
the
could have me.
is
For
there a
what?
tote for the red feather plume?
There is.
There is.
About where would I find it?
Middle row on the
This
right side of the room, yeah.
okay.
Oh, I was gonna
Okay.
say in the grid.
Well, so for different style, look at the light reflection from the bottom edge up. See how there's no harsh girdle or really rigid line? It's rolled smoothly, more like a high dome cab. And traditionally, I would put a sharp girdle on there with a more pronounced line. But this one, I want the wave pattern to be more pronounced in here. So I chose to dome all the way to the edge. And if someone were to set this piece in silver, this would make it so that they could use a really, really small bezel to hold the stone. Yeah, it's because Tay's close to me. The girdle is this flat edge around the stone that the bezel holds onto when you set this in jewelry. So depending on the style of jewelry you're making cabs for, your girdle will change. Because like for wire wrapping, the easiest thing to have is a flat, perfectly flat girdle. Like this one would be a pain to wire wrap with compared to if I had done a really flat edge. But for silversmith, it'd be like, oh my God, that's amazing.
There's some pretty sweet pieces on this rack.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that we've been cutting up recently.
Yeah, go you guys.
Mostly been Douglas and Brian. They've been doing awesome with it.
I know every time I see Douglas, he's bopping around the lab.
What I love is when Douglas runs over to me and he's like, Zeke, you got to check out this piece.
I know. Yeah, I walked by Douglas the other day and he was standing at the 36 clamping a rock and he had a big smile on his face, excited.
I am so excited for us to get set up to make jewelry. This would be a piece that
I'm
I'd have
not
a really
cutting.
fun time.
Tell me to put my hair up. I'm drawing on cabs.
Thanks, John. Are you guys enjoying tonight? Learning a lot? That's awesome. Hey, I would really appreciate it because it really helps our business and our mission. I know there's a bunch of you that are like, oh, we've heard this before, but I know there's some new people that haven't. Our mission is to get 1 million more people into the Lapidary arts. And you guys can help with that by helping promote us. One of the things that really helps us a lot is Google reviews. So if you guys are loving and enjoying what we're doing, we'd really appreciate it if you went and left us a 5-star Google review. That's funny, John. It does make a big difference for our business, those Google reviews. And we also just enjoy reading them. I know it makes me really happy when I see that you guys are having a good time and enjoying what we're teaching or the rock that we're showing. And the team just put a link in the chat there for that. Oh, burning the wheel there. You can see a little bit of black on there. You just work it a little bit gentler to get that off.
How shall I cut this, Zeke? I was thinking like here.
Right there on the end.
You and your wet hands. Or should I do on this side?
Oh, that sounds better.
The one great thing that I know I'm very lucky to have is I have people like Zeke and Jordan who work here. They're some of the most hardworking and talented people I have ever worked with.
That's sweet.
It's quite literally how I talk to Sherman about it. It kind of feels like growing the family because they work with my family.
We do.
They like know my dad and like my uncle and stuff.
Wow.
Find
That's a
something
really
you
good.
like.
Yeah, I found a killer piece of Bonewood Select.
Oh.
There was one day where John and Sherman were like, Zeke's kind of like having like the little brother. And Tay was like, you are not my uncle.
Shut that down right away. Can't have him getting any thoughts.
This is true.
Sometimes you have to have boundaries.
What's that?
Yeah, right, Zeke.
The
Zeke doesn't
concerned look on Tay's face.
understand that word.
he's getting better.
I'm very happy with this cabochon.
Zeke, where's that piece of jade going?
Um, I haven't gotten enough trouble this week. We should probably just offer it up because I don't know where John wants it.
You do realize he's standing right there, right?
Yeah, he can't hear me with all the machines running. He's not wearing a headset.
Zeke. Zeke.
He's gonna sense it. And Tay has a headset on. Remember how Tay said she enjoys working with us? That comment was like 2 minutes ago.
You know, things change oh so fast.
I don't know. You guys want a chance at that jade before we cut it up? It's a pretty phenomenal ball rock. How Tay feels about me is very bipolar because there'll be 1 minute Tay's like, Zeke's making progress and he's making improvements and I'm happy to work with Zeke. And I'll do something and 5 minutes later Tay will be like, good grief, I don't know if I can work with him.
You can show them that.
Ooh.
That's what I'm working on
You
so
know-
far. Don't Jimmy it.
Where the purple Chalcedony is.
Yes, and the row closest to me, almost all the way at the end, and it's empty.
Okay.
After I buff this Malachite cab, I'll grab that jade to show you guys. It's a pretty phenomenal piece. You guys should have seen how excited John was when we got that piece. He had to call me at like 3 in the morning. He's like, dude, you gotta check this one out.
Zeke, is this bonewood or palmwood?
Bonewood. That other piece you're holding is Purple Haze.
Okay. Oh yeah, it is. Let's see.
Yes, this is Am on a cotton wheel.
I'm doing ye old cut down. For my beginner cabbers, one of the best ways, especially if you're concerned about the longevity, or even this is for my long-term cabbers, you're concerned about the longevity of your wheels. One thing I do know in the cabbing community, I do it as well sometimes, is I tend to grind too much, which means I'm not trimming my pieces down enough on a trim saw, which saves you so much time and really preserves the life of your wheels. Because the more you grind into wheels, the less life they have, right, Zeke?
That's accurate.
This is true.
All right, when I'm done with this, why don't we go for a spin? And I'll grab that piece of jade. And then you guys want to do some tote? Or if you guys have any other questions, I'm happy to answer questions.
I was gonna say, does anyone have more questions on how to read rock? Something that's popping into your head now?
And one of the things I would encourage after tonight is when next time you cut a rock, predict what it's going to look like. If you want to get good at this, predict what it's going to look like before you cut it, and see how close you are. This is a not so great old buffing unit.
Oh, that's
It
an
definitely is one.
understatement.
It's definitely one that needs a lot of improvements.
I have personal beef against that buffing unit, and you know why, Zeke.
The zapping.
Yep.
All right, so That's what it would have looked like on just a cut face. Real attractive, I know. But because we domed it, we get this really cool, wipe off some of the little fuzzies on there. This really cool pooling pattern. I love that cab. So hopefully that inspires you guys a little bit on when you're looking at the malachite on some of those other pieces. Oh, I just saw one of the pieces that we cut. Holy crap. John was inspecting our cuts. I know one of the things he was saying was that I left the chains too long. If Jordan was still here, she'd go, a great use of electricity, dude. This is a piece of that Indonesian red moss. That's funny, Brandon. It's not cheap here. This is a piece of the Cherry Creek. A little bit more yellow in there than I was expecting. Right, very pretty. This one right here is one of the ones that I was drooling over. I think it's 16 a pound. Because we show pieces like this all the time that get passed on. And I'm like, man, that's a nice piece. Look how insanely rich that blue is. Team, you want to read that question? I missed it.
Okay, Zeke, how are you? I'm here.
Good. How are you doing?
So we have from Tara jumped on after work to ask a sole question. My new TSS just arrived. People seem split on oil versus water. I'm cutting Jaspers and shirts. What is that? Kurtz in
Shirts.
agates. Your your setup video, Zeke, shows water. What do you recommend?
Um, are you cutting agate specimens? Or are you trimming slabs? Are you gonna slab the material on the trim saw? I would say is the first thing I would ask.
Zeke, did we decide where we're going for tote next?
I think we might be going to the lapis after the piece that we just cut.
Oh, lapis lazuli or lazuli?
Lazuli. That is such a cool pattern in there.
Oh, what is that?
That's bonewood. That's really rotted
Wow,
out bonewood.
that's really intriguing, huh?
I like that a lot.
Thanks, Susan. How much would you put on those lapis slabs, Zachary?
A slab off that piece should be probably 50, $60. That premium of blue.
Mostly cutting open to see how it looks inside, maybe some slabs. Mostly Tara's just exploring.
Well, I would say use oil. Because if you take a chunk of agate or jasper, you try to cut it open, and if it's probably the only saw you have, I would guess based on what you said, you're probably going to end up pushing the limits of it a little bit because you're like, well, I could stick that piece on there if I just roll it a little bit or set it down on the blade. So I would go with oil, because you're going to cut a lot faster if you're trying to cut a big piece like that with a lot less force, and your blade will last a lot longer. Um, it's a little bit more expensive to start, but I think if you're trying to cut stuff on there like that, you're gonna want oil. Yeah. Yeah, based on the answer to your question, I was like, that's probably because you know how I know that? Because I would do the same thing. I am told no, Ed, but I don't have one to try. Well, I've never only had a trim saw, because I grew up in a rock shop, but I have definitely pushed the limits of the trim saw. Man, that's a really fun piece. That's some more of that Indonesian red moss. I just love the dark bands in there. I mean, it's a good piece of jade, but the dark bands really make it, especially for doing a sphere, because if you cut it right, you'll get a dark dot on the top and the bottom. Or you could turn the sphere like this and stick it on a light stand and get the dots on the sides. I'm not sure if it's nephrite or jadeite.
Lot 7350 for Stuart Dunlap, 7.19 pounds. Lot 7411 for Kyle Messis, 1.16 pounds. Yeah, let's see.
Somebody want to make an offer on this one?
Get your bat out and swing.
Right.
Hopefully it'll
Otherwise
get
we'll have
shipped before John knows.
otherwise we'll have to cut it up. It is such a nice piece. If I was gonna cut this one, I'd drill the first sphere right there. Let's see, do we got a tape measure handy? Give you guys
We actually
dimensions.
did on the cart right here.
Well, let's see. So that one is 3 and 5/8 thick right there on the thick part. And on the face here, it tapers down to 3 1/4. So I'd cut this for uh um a 3.5 inch ball right there.
Why is jade so expensive?
Um, in the grand scheme of things, premium jade is a good bit harder to find, and it is one of the most desired stones in the world. It's also just a beautiful stone to cut and polish, but one of its unique abilities is that it's one of the most durable stones because it's made up of fibers interlocking. And so it's great for doing like the bangles and rings and beads and things like that out of it because it's just such a strong stone.
I love the bangles. I used to wear those all the time.
Yeah, carvings, it's really good for carvings. Like what I really like is you'll see great big boats, or ships carved out of jade, and they'll do them with such detail that you'll see chain like hanging from one of the masts, and it's all one piece of jade, but they carved like movable chain on it, and like the whole thing is that was all carved out of one piece. They're phenomenal. But this one would just make such unique spheres with it, where you get the dots in them, which is why I'm so excited about this piece. I mean, it is really good color, but the fact that you get the dark with the light. The other thing that would be, cool is just doing cabs. Cutting cabs out of, half and half cabs out of that section right there would be really cool. All right. Well, thank y'all. We appreciate you guys. And man, we're gonna have fun tomorrow night. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.